Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Nikki and Brie Show. And we hope you've all been enjoying our latest episodes, having, just girls that mean so much to us, that not only that we worked with, but that we call good friends. So Nia Jax, Naomi, Natalia, the three, just incredible women. So if you have not checked out those episodes, please check them out. I mean, Nikki. It's crazy because it's like we're already how many weeks away from WrestleMania? What, week and a half? 2 weeks. I mean, that's still a lot, though.
No, right.
A lot happens in that time.
Oh,
but
gosh,
I feel like we have to just tell people kind of how we left the weekend, how we felt, because we kind of threw them with all these great interviews that we did. But it was. I felt like you and I walked away like feeling exhausted. We didn't get much rest, but we felt really good.
No, totally. I mean, it's crazy because we haven't had like the full catch up with everyone, but what an incredible weekend. Not only for ourselves, but for Bonita Bonita. A lot of learning lessons. That's for sure. I mean, Brie and I literally worked around the clock, whether it was appearances, wine stuff, whatever, lunches, dinners. We did not stop from morning till night, but it was so fun. Vegas just has such a fun energy. And it doesn't even have to be the energy where you want to gamble or drink. It's just everything is just so big and beautiful and bright in Las Vegas, right? From all the flowers and the statues, and every hotel is just different, and the smells. And I have to say, and this has always been one of my favorite hotels, and honestly, how they hosted us WrestleMania week, the Wynn will always be my number one choice in Las Vegas. And I've always said this, like, there's nothing like the Wynn. Just, it's so gorgeous and sophisticated and classy, but fun, but has like amazing restaurants and the smells. I love the Asian touches, and it's just so gorgeous. Golf course that is attached, Sirius XM is there. Like, there's just so many incredible things. So like first, and then our room.
Yeah.
Brie and I had the biggest suite. It was so amazing. And it was funny because there was a knock at the door, and Zach, one of our friends who was with us, was like, caviar and champagne. And I laughed and I go, yeah, right, I wish. And he goes, no, seriously, caviar and champagne are here. And I'm like, what? And when they delivered us like caviar and champagne to
you
like
just
kick
felt
off
like
the
a
week,
queen.
felt like a queen.
Well, I think that's like what's important when you're going to resorts in Las Vegas is going to a resort where you feel like you don't have to leave.
Yeah.
It's really nice to just like set up shop, and then you're going to their shows, their restaurants. It's just, It's great. And Wynn definitely does that.
No, totally. Big time. But it was neat to like see all the love Bonita Bonita was getting, Birdiebee was getting, like everyone heading into Flankers, to the Fearless Speakeasy, or to do the Bonita Bonita brunches, and just getting the feedback of people who live out of our country, who haven't even been able to taste our wine, to actually taste it, to drive into Mandalay Bay and see my Birdiebee like big poster up on the big screens, whatever you would call it. Just like all of that was so surreal, being at Hooters and seeing our wine, all of it. I just was in awe the whole time. Ole Red. Okay. Ole Red is just the best, isn't it?
I mean, let's just say I got into Brie Mode.
Major Brie Mode.
Red. I had a lot of fun. I'm sure I danced to some of you listening right now.
Honestly. Well, I mean, I got
a blast.
I even got into Brie Mode, but it was so fun. They started to play like 90s music and like early 2000 in between the country artist bands, and we were just dancing like crazy. But then the like country music was so fun. Honestly, Ole Red is, I think, the best bar in all of Las Vegas. Well, if you want to go have a really good time.
I was going to say, it's whatever your style is. That's what's great about Vegas. Like, they have every different nightclub, bar, whatever it is. But you and I love that style of a bar. So it's like perfect for us.
Right. But then you go all the way to the top. Not only can you watch the Bellagio fountain, they have that DJ playing such great music. Good. Like, I'm just saying, Ole Red kills it. You get all the different vibes. It's great food and drinks. Then you can see the Bellagio fountain. I don't know. It's like perfectly placed. But yeah, And then it now serves Bonita Bonita, which, by the way, you guys, they're going to have a huge Mother's Day brunch. So
if you're there, if you're in Las Vegas, you need to go to Ole Red.
Yeah, you'll get our bubbles.
But you know what was really fun is during our time at Ole Red, Blake Shelton FaceTimed in.
How cool was that?
And it was so cool to do a FaceTime with them and to put over Bonita and just to like chat with them like that. I was like, oh, shoot.
Well, I mean, Barmageddon will always be one of like my favorite shows that I've worked on. And I really hope to do, more with that. But Blake and Carson were like the greatest people to work with. They're just such down to earth guys. And you saw Blake didn't have to FaceTime in, and like, he's just so cool. And he puts, he loves Ole Red too. It's kind of like Bonita. We have like, we connect to it so much and have so much love and passion for it. He's the same with Ole Red. And that's why all those places are successful. He gives a lot of love to it, and we've made the wall.
We did make the wall.
And Brie were honky tonk champs.
Oh, I loved having those tag titles.
Right.
It's so funny because I'll make jokes, like whether I'm on the podcast or I'm on stage at Ole Red. And then when I see certain headlines, I'm like, I was joking. I was certain stuff. I was joking.
No, but it always happens, especially more in the wrestling world. I feel like you say something and it's always a little clickbait headline.
Taken out of context,
right,
for sure.
But that's okay. What's your favorite moment at Las Vegas?
I mean, all of it, right? I mean, there were so many highs, but I tell you what, that Delilah's restaurant at Wynn is something special.
Beyond special.
I mean, just the food is fantastic, but having the singer, the ambiance, the whole setting. I mean, I just feel like you don't get to go to restaurants like that all the time.
No.
So I just felt so relaxed, and I was really I felt like in my zone, enjoying, I don't know, like that was a big highlight for me.
Totally. Actually, I would have to say Delilah's too. It is like from the moment you enter, your experience there and you leave, it's everything I love. No cell phones, speakeasy vibes, 1920s, Great Gatsby, but like kind of feel like I'm in Paris, maybe, 1920s New York. But it's just with the dancers, and then you never know who's going to take the stage, and the ambiance, the decor, the food, the drinks. That is a special spot. You're so right. And that was probably one of my highlights, as well as like interacting again with the Bella Army and just seeing the Sea of Red. I know I talked about it a little bit on our episode with Naya, but it was so amazing being back with them. And it makes me really excited for the summer and the future and all the things. But and it was just, great to be back with the fam, wrestling fam, right? Always seeing like all the faces, and
it's like a reunion.
It's always a reunion. That's what's special about WrestleMania.
Many people, and I love it.
Delilah's, highlight. Also, Brie, you bring in the Magic Mike guys by on the live show. Which, how fun was the live show?
Yeah, it would have. Oh, the live show was incredible to do, but also, going to a Magic Mike show would be more fun.
Yeah, well, we will. I'm definitely, but only because it is impressive how they dance.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not about men being with shirts off.
I know.
It's truly about, I really enjoyed the second Magic Mike of the story of it and like, making it like a theater, Broadway. So.
Well, that's good. I will say this. I left Vegas very, happy and full, and I felt great. Granted, I had way more blisters than I wanted.
Really?
My feet were over high heels after that weekend.
Not my feet. A lot of things were over a lot of things that weekend.
I don't know what it is, but I can't be walking around in heels all day.
You know what I realized is since the pandemic, for sure, high heels I can't do it anymore. But someone brought that up like, oh, were you mainly barefooted in the pandemic? And I was like, yeah, I was pregnant, so I didn't go to a lot of places and I wasn't wearing shoes in my house. And they were saying how if you were mainly barefooted in the pandemic, high heels are harder for you now. But it's actually not a good thing. That we kind of messed up.
No, there's too many people with weird opinions out there. How is it not a good thing?
It's something that we did to our souls.
And barefooted.
I know, but we're not supposed to be walking on hardwood floors. When back in the day, they were walking on dirt and grass. we're working on hard wood and concrete and different things like that.
I mean, there's definitely times like my feet are over walking on the hardwood floor and I put on slippers.
Okay,
or
well,
my
I'm not the foot
Birkenstocks.
police. I'm just telling you, which makes sense.
We need to
because
call
high
the
heels
foot
hurt.
police because I feel like someone's
if
giving
you have the foot
something
police's
wrong.
number, we can call them.
And I do think it deals with your arches.
That's what it is.
and
It's something
certain
that it ruins
things.
your arches.
Because Brian's very flat-footed and I have high arches.
Yeah.
So our feet hurt with different things.
Right. But that and like overbooking myself.
Oh, yeah.
That was because you and I, especially when you're a place like Vegas, you want to like take in moments. And we get a little bit of time to take in moments, and then it was going to here, to here, to here, which was a very successful weekend for us. But I realized like in the future, I can't do it like that. I need more resting moments.
Yeah. Well, I felt bad for the fans because there was so much for fans to go do.
Oh, I know.
And if I'm a fan and I fly in, I want to do it all.
Yeah.
I was thinking there was so many fun shows for them to go watch wrestling.
But that would be fun for them.
No, I know, but I'm saying they must have felt so tired after.
Oh, I'm sure. I think we all are still tired.
I mean,
I'm still tired.
Well, we added so much more to our week.
I mean, I started in LA to Vegas to New York, back home to repack to go to Anaheim for Disneyland, back home.
Yeah, so we do that to ourselves.
That's right, which is true.
But I was, I don't know. I realized I am a person of FOMO.
No,
and
big time.
We both have FOMO, so I don't like to miss out.
Right.
But because I have FOMO, I definitely, overexhaust myself. That's for sure.
100.
I feel like I'm a person who doesn't really get sick. I get run down because I'm like always going.
Yeah.
So.
But you know what's kind of cool is, think of how many WrestleMania weeks we've been to. And when I look at this one, it makes me go, damn, because to see Bonita Bonita have such a presence and like kick so much ass, and to see things with Birdiebee, to see things with just, our brand, it just made me sit back and go, wow, like that. We sometimes forget to take those moments in. And what made me think of it is when Mom sent you and I the long text of how proud we should be of ourselves and how impressed she was with like seeing our businesses and the presence they had as well as what we were doing. And I was like, whoa, that's so true, that even though it was a really busy weekend, like, wow, it was very successful for us and like shows how far we've come as entrepreneurs.
Right.
And so that's yeah. Now we've learned a lot as entrepreneurs on like what the bosses can do and won't do.
That's for sure.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm gonna definitely next time structure my weekend differently.
Yeah, knowing that we are very free-spirited and we like to get lost in the fun of it all.
Well, and I just have to also allow myself nowadays to rest. I used to see my grandfather take naps during the day, the power nap, get you back right at work. I think I need to bring in power naps when I have work weekends.
Honestly.
Just kick off them hills, have a little snooze for 30 minutes, and then go back out.
This is the thing. You all have made fun of me for so long about tea time, but do you get it now? Why they created tea time? Not only was it to gossip, which is so much fun, but it's just to sit and take a breather. Let's just sip some tea. Let's engage in some conversation or not, your choice.
So I'm going to challenge you on that.
Oh gosh.
Definitely not why tea time was created. It was not for relaxation.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
And to talk shit.
It is relaxing to you because you're sitting.
Yeah.
So that's it. But tea time was not created. It was created, I feel like, for women to come together and be able to, they didn't back that day have the texting and all the things. So it was them to catch up and talk. And like you said, gossip.
Well, no, I agree.
No one was like, oh, I need to take a nap. It was like something fun for them to get dressed up and go do. It was an outing.
But it's definitely is carried over as like midday sit down and chill time. I feel like in the Asian culture, it's like that.
Well, I feel like, I guess maybe a different style tea time. I think of you who likes the very English style and you want to be dressed nice and
caviar and champagne if I want. No, but I do. I've just was thinking like, I think I need to bring tea time in my life. Like just if I need to schedule something and they're like, oh, we need you like around 12 to 1, I'll be like, oh, sorry, I have tea time.
No, I'm going to tell everyone I need a good old American nap.
Yeah.
Get me a nap.
Okay, but the ones that take naps, because they're usually at their desk or starting their day at 5 a.m.
I feel like my
you can't
kids
start your day when your kids wake up. Sorry, Brie. That does not count.
It has to count.
No.
In my household.
Okay. Well, before Disneyland, then I made my stop in New York, which you were very missed, by the way. Because that was your crew from Cannes, France.
Yeah. You know what it is there's sometimes you just got to not do things for your mental health. And
right.
For me, I was like, I mentally can't do it. I need to go home.
I will say it was tough, especially because Sunday traveling to New York and having to leave Vegas.
When you started texting me about your delays.
And when the delays kept going and they were changing from 30 minutes to hours.
I was so grateful that I wasn't with you.
Well, it was because Newark went down to one runway.
Why?
They're doing construction.
Oh my goodness.
And the pilot had told us it was the shortest runway they have.
Oh my gosh.
No, our landing.
Oh.
I was praying. I was like, they warned us. They go, so you know, this type of runway to land this type of plane is it drops down and the brakes get put on very quick. And like, if you're not holding on to your stuff, they will fly.
Jeez.
No, I was like, dang. But he was incredible. But it was tough because by the time I got to my hotel room, it was like 2 a.m., 2 or 3. And I was like, oh man, this is hard. But I have to say, and I need to post it. There's just been so much socially that I had to disconnect for a few days. That's why you and I have been walking over 10 miles a day out in Mother Nature, but it's like I needed her. I needed to disconnect. It got so much social stuff. Like there's stuff from Vegas I still haven't posted that I need to, like all those amazing photos that we have from Ole Red.
Do you need to?
Well, I want to share some of the fun moments from Ole Red.
Yeah.
And there's some other moments from Disneyland I want to share. There's stuff from Vegas that not Vegas, New York I haven't shared. I mean, people probably don't even realize I went to New York in between it all. I didn't do any social there, but I was just so tired. I was like, and I had such cute outfits and I'm like, I don't even have time to take photos of this. I'm so tired. But it was just, there's a lot more I need to share, but it was getting a little overwhelming on the feed. So I was like, I just need to disconnect for a little bit.
Which is good.
No, it was great. But it was neat to be at the Business of Women's Sports Summit. So Brie met this whole crew when she was in Cannes for the Nikki and Brie Show. And they asked Brie and I to speak on the panel. And by the way, it was just with such badass women. AJ Andrews, Ashlyn Harris, Mel Reed, and to know what they all have done for women in their sports. So you have PGA, you have soccer, you have softball. It's just incredible. So I was so honored when they asked us to speak on the panel amongst these women, because they wanted women that have done something in their industries, right. Broke some type of barrier, created some type of history, fought for women in their sport. Yeah. So that's why Brie and I were asked to speak on this panel. And what was neat is you're in a room full of advertisers. So what our goal is to tell advertisers why you invest in female athletes, which is so crazy to think, but it was so cool to see all these different female athletes. And I felt like I was just in you know how I am. I was in my, what do you call it? Vibes. You
were in your environment.
Yeah. Why can't I think of the word? But I was in my thing, being around these women and just how we vibed off each other and talked. It just brought me back to my soccer days. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. But it was really cool because you and I have been athletes our whole life, hardcore female athletes, massive tomboys. So to be around these women and hear them speak about their sport, or just even female athletes in general, it was just so amazing. We all spoke so much more off the panel and just what we all really want to do for women's sports. And it was cool because we all were talking about ways and we were coming up with ideas, and we're all going to regroup because a lot of them have shows with iHeart, that we're all going to regroup because all of our goals is how can we make women's sports, their events, even bigger? Right. What can we do with our platforms now to make these women mean even more? And so it was neat to like just like talk ideas or like talk about people that really still care about female sports and want to use their platforms. And, you know, Ashlyn was right. She's like, that's like our job now. Like we need to help bring the people to tune in. Like whether it's women's basketball, soccer, softball, you know, wrestling, all the things. And it's cool to like start to put wrestling amongst all those other women, you know, golf, like the golf stuff really blew my mind.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Like to hear like women just got health insurance like a year or two ago. Just like different things like that. I was like, you just don't think about it. So yeah, so it was really neat to like just talk about all that. But then also it was a sold out summit. So all these advertisers came to hear these female athletes speak, which I thought was really cool. And just to hear everyone's stories, their perspectives. I was in my element.
Element.
But I was so in my element. I was getting fired up. And I'm like, these women are just so badass. And so it's really cool what Deep Blue Sports Entertainment does. Laura, who runs it all.
She's incredible.
She's incredible. She's such a badass.
She stood out to me when I was at the advertising festival in France. And she just has such an incredible personality. But talk about meeting someone who just wants to help women.
Like, no,
and
but
you're like, thank you.
Yes.
Wow.
I guess that was like the first time in a very, very long time that I walked into a room and spoke to people who truly care about helping women.
Yeah.
And there was no gain from it for them. There was nothing like the passion that I have for it and you have for it. They have the same exact passion. And they're like, so amazing. What do we do? How do we help? And what's neat is they're like looking, how do we help the women that are in it now? How do we help the women also that retire and then what they do after? Like I was just like in heaven. And you're right. Like Lori, you could just tell she's so like giving of like female athletes. And so I was just like, wow, I want to be around these people even more. Like I could have hung out, like to hear them all joking back. I felt like I was back in like the locker room, right? Like,
oh yeah.
To hear them all with their jokes. They do have how they're giving each other a hard time, like in their different sports or what one does. And I was just like in heaven, like hearing all the stories. I was like, this is so cool. So I was, even though I was so tired and my back pain came back, you guys, when we went to New York to do Kristen Cavallari's live podcast show, as I told you all, blew out my back. We don't even know how, like couldn't get out of bed, couldn't move. Someone had to come over to work on my back. As I'm on the plane flying to New York, the same thing happens. And I called Brie and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe the same thing is happening. I was in so much pain the whole time I was in New York again.
Yeah.
How crazy.
It is. It's crazy. I mean, I bent down today to put sunscreen on Buddy's legs and I feel like I blew out my back. And I felt like the sting. Oh, I just did that and that just hurt. But I felt the sting in my back and I was like, oh my God. And I like stood up and I'm like, what in the world?
What's going on, Brie? These, I just wish Core Power would come to Napa Valley, please, because Core Power yoga, for some reason, I get addicted to it and I do it all the time, but my body gets so loose from it.
Well, and I think too, and I don't know, I feel like I'm just at an age, like things are just different. And so it's, you know, I didn't bend down in like a proper squat. I just bent down from the hip, the waist down.
Yeah.
And so I just think it's doing things different.
No, it is.
You know.
But to wrap up New York, it was like, no matter the pain, no matter the tiredness, after I was done with the panel and like when I was leaving and like all the women I got to speak to, I was like, this was 1000% worth it. Worth putting it in the schedule. Being able to talk in front of all those advertisers, like on behalf of female athletes and not just for my sport, but for all sports. It was just really cool. And just to meet these women. And I really want to do things and with them and us both, you know, and just really help with all that. And that's why I like all of you guys, like support as much as you can women's sports, like really support just like we do the men, because the women need it. You know,
agree.
They're so talented in all these different sports.
Right. Well, it'll be nice. I'll see them back in France in June. I mean, you know, while you were doing that, I was cuddled up next to Brian on a couch in Lake Tahoe. So
Dang.
it felt really incredible.
Oh, I bet.
I needed that.
Yeah.
I was just like, and there was a little snow still left and like really that chilly, crisp air.
Yeah.
And like we did a lot of walking. I was like, oh, I needed that.
I did. New York was gorgeous weather. And so I stayed at the Highline Hotel, which actually super unique, cool experience. Ton of history from early 1800s, I think. A lot of history there, but then the Highline's right there. So then I walked to the Highline, and with everything bloomed right now. Well, I was sending you photos of all the pretty pink trees and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you're in New York and you're like, I want a cool like historic spot, like their two bars in there were really cool. And then like I think I was telling you, Brie, that 'Twas the Night Before Christmas was written there because that's kind of how the rooms feel, like very much for writers. But it used to be like a monastery or dormitory, but like gorgeous, brick. And they really try to restore a lot of things. So it feels very historic in there. But it was a cool experience for sure. Like very artsy, very cool.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, in Chelsea. So I was in Chelsea. And I never stay in Chelsea. I'm just sometimes a creature of habit that I feel like I'm always Upper East Side, but it was really cool to like stay there and get different vibes and experiences, and
which is big for you.
I know. And I was alone and did it.
You're a creature of habit.
Very much.
So you always stay at the same hotels and go to the same restaurants.
I know, because when I know what like I'm going to get, I'm like, well, I like that,
See, I like to experience different things. Even if it ends up not being the greatest, it's fun to see like something new.
Right. Well, me too. But then I want to go back to then what's familiar. Like,
I don't know.
Like if in Paris, I'd love to stay again at the Ritz Paris, because I know that no matter what new experience I have during the day, I could go back to what I know to end it.
But there's so many other great places.
I know.
It's fun to like venture out. It is who you are. Very much who you are. So I'm happy that you actually did something different in New York.
Right. I was shocked. But then it was cute to come back, go straight to pick up Mateo, and then know that we were all preparing for Disneyland the next day.
You guys, we did it. The kids were, Mateo wasn't on spring break, but my two were on spring break. And we thought, you know what? Let's end spring break with a bang, even though we were so busy. But I think that's what happens is like mom guilt kicks in. We were so busy
100
doing our stuff. And Nikki and I are in a position like we love what we do. So we're like, we're having fun and the kids aren't here.
Yeah.
So we're like, we need to plan something fun then for the kids, which Disneyland it is. But her and I
Got
were
my
like,
shirt on.
Oh yeah.
My Disney shirt.
But her and I were like, we will fly in, do a full day and fly right out. And we did that.
We did that. And I was shocked. The kids were great with it. Now, of course, they didn't want to leave, but I didn't even want to leave.
I know.
But we had the Bonita Bonita Wine Club member event we didn't want to miss. But it was fast, but because we were at Disneyland almost 10 hours Friday, like 9, I think it was. We walked 18 miles when I looked at my Oura ring.
18 miles.
No, I think it was total 18 miles, 15 or 18.
Yeah, miles. You're right. I was thinking steps. Sorry.
I was like, it was like 20,000 steps.
Yeah, a little over actually.
The kids didn't want to stop riding rides. We just kept going. We did, I think, a 30-minute lunch break out of that whole day.
I mean, I was in my workout shoes that are so comfy and all that. My toes started to hurt in those because I don't know, like why. And I go, that just shows you that I went all day long.
We went all day.
But it was fun.
It was so much fun to stay. And the Californian, I mean, that's where we stayed. It's so magical there.
I know. I look at someone like Brian who cannot stand Disney.
He hates it.
Yeah, he will not go. But every time I'm there and I see it with the kids too, and Mateo's the same and you're the same, it really makes me happy.
It's literally the happiest place on earth.
I never have a bad experience.
No.
I feel like...
Well, I feel like because everyone else is happy when they're there.
Right.
Like
I don't
everyone's
even need to ride
moods.
all the rides. Just being there and people watching and walking around.
Because all the characters are walking around and like the Looney Tune cars walking around. And I was sad that the horse tripped. Remember when you were where'd you go? It broke my heart. And the one thing I will say is the horse did it itself.
Yeah.
It was like a little like, ooh, but everyone like gasped, which made the horse like look around. And then
it's like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
But then it was like sad because then it like just kind of looked down, like it got embarrassed almost, or I don't know.
No, that's more in your head.
Okay.
But Yeah. So I just, it's always such a fabulous time, but it wears you out. But it's to me, and right now they're doing their 70th anniversary.
Wait, it's to me. You didn't even finish it.
Well, to me, it's just so great.
Yeah.
But it is incredible that it's their 70th year anniversary.
No, of just Cinderella, I thought.
No.
Didn't they already have their 100
No,
year?
of Disney. No, their 100 year comes.
No. Girl, you're wrong.
You're right, of Cinderella.
Yeah.
But that's crazy.
I know.
That Cinderella story has been around for 70 years.
Well, I mean, you're 40-something, girl.
Gosh. That's what it is. I always forget my age.
Oh, me too.
But just
I'll be like, that's how old? Yeah, right. And I'm like, oh, wait, I did watch it when I was 10. But maybe.
You know what trips me out is just when I see like these 90s nostalgia like videos people will post on Instagram. And to me, it's like, gosh, it's weird how far now the 90s feel.
Right.
When we're living it. Actually, I was watching this video. They're showing a video of this mall in the 90s during the holiday season. But no one was on phones because they didn't have it.
Magical.
But it was so weird to see how into it people were. And I'm like, see, malls aren't like that. And they go,
phones have ruined
remember
everything.
when the malls is where you went for like the holiday
Yes.
festivals. And it was crazy
The
to see it all.
smells. I mean, you would just go to the mall and walk around during the holiday
Everyone just
season because it felt so
shopping with-
magical, and you get to see Santa. Even if you weren't waiting in line for Santa, you get a glimpse of him.
It was, it really like blew my mind, and it did make me sad. Like,
And you would look dressed cute too.
Everyone was festive.
Yeah.
Everybody. But I was like, wow, those days are really done. That's like wild to me. And how many of us buy our gifts online? Like, you never did that. You win.
You win.
And I don't know, there was just a vibe to it that it made me like really sad. I'm like, oh, I miss those. And I'm like, and now here I'm at the age saying the good old days, but
I know.
I'll stand by them. They're the good old days.
Well, everyone loved the video I posted, and are asking like, how did you get those like 90 vibes or old school vibes? I got an old school camcorder off Amazon, and so majority of that footage I filmed off an old school camcorder.
So that
you don't
how it will look.
you don't get a look at like what you film. You just film. So all that footage you saw, I filmed it. I didn't even get to see it till I downloaded it on my computer. And look how cute it was.
Yeah.
It was just and there were so many moments that we didn't get, like, oh, when the kids are in the on the Pixar side with cars and running to Mater, and Mateo's favorite is Luigi, the dancing cars. Yeah. Even though this time around he loved the Disney side. Both the boys, I feel like, loved the Disney side. Well, the Looney Tunes, Mateo wanted to keep riding that roller coaster, which was so fun. The little one.
They did such a great job.
They did such
that whole area.
That whole area. He loves the water, the playground. I mean, I feel like the kids could have been there longer, but we wanted, to get them to other places.
What happens when you spend just one day there?
I know. Because we could have been on the Looney Tunes side for a long time.
For like, I swear, half the day.
And I love the old school Minnie and Mickey, the 1920s feels cartoon.
That ride is so amazing.
Yes. And by the way, because the Californian plays a lot of those cartoons and they're on the rocker chairs, how hard are all the kids laughing from the old cartoons? Like the 1920 ones?
You know what I realized?
Or 30s or 40s or 50s, whatever.
Simplicity is all kids want.
That's all they want.
They don't want to be overwhelmed. And I know this sounds very hippie of me, but they don't want to be overwhelmed with all these toys.
It's not hippie of you.
And all these things. Kids are the most simple creatures ever. I mean, you could literally give a kid a pot, a wooden spoon, and they will entertain themselves for an hour.
Their imagination will make it into something. That's the beauty. The beauty of it. And I feel like, when God created all of this, I think it's because as adults, he would know at some point we would lose that. But then we look at our children to get that back.
For sure.
The imagination, and when they say get lost in play and laughter and I mean, I love it hearing my kids all the time because they play really well together now. And
they were like, okay, so I'm going to make this up, and then I'm going to make, and you hear them, and they keep like, okay, so let's pretend.
Yeah.
But Brian and I were like, they say those words like 100 times in a day, but it's so cute. And it's so cute to see them, play together. I mean, there'll always be like a little fight at some point.
Oh, of course.
Because Buddy wants it to be where Birdie falls in lava. Birdie doesn't want lava part of the story. And it's like really funny to hear like what bothers them.
Oh, yeah.
And we always know Buddy will bring up lava and Birdie will be like, oh, not now. But yeah, it's like for me, like Disney, I kind of like felt the same with you. It's like I saw the very simple parts of Disney is what the kids really gravitated towards.
Yes. They loved it.
Yeah. They just want those simple stories. But I will say, like, when you look at something newer, like the Cars area compared to
the Cars area is so cool.
Yeah. The other rides, like you can tell, like that's more up to speed with kids now.
Oh, for sure. The Mater one is such a cool ride.
I mean, that's so fun.
I think the best ride ever. My ultimate favorite, it's the Cars one where you race the other car through the mountain. That is the coolest thing ever.
So fun.
And like, I love the Cars movies. So then to see, like when you go through and you feel like how they're all life size.
Well, you felt like you're part of the movie.
You do. Yeah.
It's actually, I feel like one of the only rides that really gives you that full on experience.
Right.
Like just the whole traveling through it all.
Yeah.
It's actually done.
Well, Star Wars has that new one that's cool. And then that Looney Tunes one with the 1920s one is very similar to it. Gives you those feels. And then I will say another one that is so cool that you forget about till you go back to Disneyland is Soar.
I love Soar. That's why I made sure. I'm like, no, we got to do Soar.
Soar
like the kids are tall enough.
Even though, they're tall enough. But I felt like Mateo loved it, but I feel like I know him. I think that was a little scary.
Yeah. I guess, I don't know. My kids loved it.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. At first, when they lifted me up, I was like, oh, shoot.
Really?
I forgot. Yeah, but I'm scared of heights.
And then you realize you're actually not that high.
Right. But
yeah. But still, it's like, it's made you to feel like you're flying.
Yeah.
Through how many countries?
Which is so
many.
Cool.
Yeah. And then the smells that they give you. I know. I just love it.
Love it.
Okay. We're going back.
I know.
Actually, it was funny
to go back.
Nikki and I were saying, we're going to turn 42 this year. And I was like, we have never done an adult Disney trip. We've
never done
ever.
Mm-mm.
And I'm like, I just, I love going to Disney with the kids because you want to see their faces when they see everyone. But at the same time, you're catering so much to your kids that there's things we don't enjoy as adults.
Right.
And so I was like, for our birthday, we need to go with some of our girlfriends and do like adult Disney.
Yeah. Brie came up with a good theme. Tell them.
42 dolls.
It's the best.
It's the best.
We're going to have so much fun, and I'm going to totally get cute outfits.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good Disney chic out there.
Yeah.
Like casual chic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just got to go in Birdie's closet and pair things together.
Oh, that's like, yeah.
She's so cute.
She's so cute.
I know.
All the pink and sparkles.
Well, and she really wanted to be Snow White.
I mean, and she like went full on. People were all commenting on her outfit and like
when they
the
go,
whole
hi,
thing.
princess, or oh, Snow White. Like, everyone says sweet things.
Yeah.
And her like face blushing and how much she loved it.
Loved it.
I always think to myself, like, is Birdie going to be done like with the princess dresses? Nope. Girl's going to be 8 and she still loves them.
Yeah. Which is so cute.
It's so cute.
It's so cute.
And like just seeing her in sewing class and the outfits she wants to make, like she's always towards the tulle and like all the materials. But, Posh Peanut just sent us these really cute mother and daughter PJs. And the material is incredible. But Birdie was like, Mom, this might be the best material I've ever felt.
Oh my gosh.
And I go, really? And we were talking, I go, I mean, it is soft. She goes, no, this is very soft.
Wow.
Like this makes me want to live in my PJs.
Oh my gosh.
And then I was like, well, I think
it
they
is
make
great material.
I go, I guess I'll go look and see. I think they make some dresses. So I bought her last night. I mean, she doesn't know, but I bought her 2 dresses off there for her birthday.
That's cute.
But yeah, I mean, Nicole, she could not at dinner last night stop talking about their material.
Oh my gosh.
It really blew her mind.
So going to be a fashion designer. Like
I feel like
100%. Well, Brie, we've had a crazy 12 days. Well, whatever, however long it was, 2 weeks, let's just say. Different cities, different people, different things. What inspiration affirmation can you hit us with? With this journey, this 2-week journey we were just on.
Yeah, but I'm going to make it up. I'm going to
make it up.
Let's do my own. Let's do
hit
our
it
own
with us. Yeah.
I have to tell you, like, you can hear my voice. I'm a little run down. Like, I actually lost my voice when we got back from Disney because we went, literally, we landed from Disney. I showered and went straight to the tasting room and we had this big Bonita Bonita wine club member event. And I was there at the tasting room till like 5:30. But it was great seeing all our wine club members, having everyone try the new sparkling rosé. I got home and I was toasted. I took another shower and got into my PJs. And I thought to myself this, wow, now I can breathe. Mm-hmm. That's been a hell of a 10 days, but I'm so incredibly blessed.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing is, I sometimes can get overwhelmed, and I can get with the overwhelmingness causes me to get tired or, just like stressed. But at the same time, everything that I'm doing in my life, and I have created this for myself, I'm having fun doing it. Mm-hmm. And at times I think to myself, like, this is my job. How? Mm-hmm. How am I this lucky? So for me, no matter through the chaos, through the tiredness, I just cannot believe how blessed I am. And that's something I've been doing in my life. And we talk about it a lot on the podcast, is looking more at the high spots in life, the glimmers, looking more at those and the things that might like seem that it's pulling me down or making me tired. It's more the things like I can't believe I actually get to do this.
Totally. And like my inspiration from the past 2 weeks would be, I really put myself out there in different situations. And went out of my comfort zone, whether it was with business, on appearances, showing up, packing the calendar, the schedule, I did things and I learned lessons from, whether it worked or it didn't work, it was successful or not. I really put myself out there. I went on some dates, not ready for it yet, but I was like, I put myself out there, tried it out, not ready for it, but I was
Which, by the way, I was happy that you did that.
Yeah. Just wanted to get my feet a little wet. And I just realized like, yeah, I'm not ready for this. But, I could have just stayed in hotel rooms and just, on nights that would have been, wrapped up at like 7 p.m. or I went and had some drinks and had conversations and realized that that's not what I want to do right now. Well, at least not date wise.
You're like, oh, I just wish I was with Brie having some wine. Having
Brie,
tea time.
Tea time. Yeah. My Bella Army, whoever. But just not dates. So it was like these past 2 weeks, pushed it on travel, but then like, even when maybe after, I went Vegas to New York and thought, oh shoot, and I kept getting delayed, I should have just went home. But I went to this sports summit and I got to meet incredible people and I just was in heaven. I was like on cloud 9, just like speaking to all these people and giving me even more passion and fuel to like help women in sports and empower and use my platform for things. So my inspiration is like, look, I put myself out there and I'm so proud of myself for what I've done. And I now can giggle on things I'm ready for and not ready for, learn that next time what I want to do for my work or not do for my work. And I'm really proud of myself. Like I sat back and I'm like, I was like you, I'm like, gosh, I'm so grateful for so much. When I saw the kids, how happy they were, I was like, wow, like Brie and I are so lucky we get to do this. That doesn't always happen. And so all that made me happy. And then also like knowing like, cause me, people don't realize this about me, but I'm a big loner. Like I wouldn't say loner in a way. Well, meaning like when I'm
You're a homebody.
Not on, I'm a homebody. Like but I'm alone a lot. Well, not with like
me all the time.
Well, you or Mateo. Okay. So I'm always with like Mateo
and
or Brie.
Friends.
Yeah, but I don't see him all the time.
It's true.
But what I'm saying is like, so I'm proud that I put myself out there and I realize my boundaries are things I love, things I don't, things I want to do and don't. So
that's a good.
That's so put,
a lot of trial and error.
Yeah. For you. But like how great, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it was just fun. I honestly felt like my past 2 weeks were a Sex and the City episode and I was one moment a Carrie or Samantha or Miranda. Kind of, and even how am I forgetting the fourth? Charlotte,
Yeah.
Disneyland was more Charlotte vibes, right?
No, not for you.
Oh, really?
More Miranda. You were Miranda.
At Disneyland?
I think Charlotte's. I feel like Charlotte's like the married one.
I know, but I was just saying vibes. She's like organized and makes things fun for the kids.
I think Charlotte's uptight.
Yeah, but like, anyways, whatever. I felt all their little vibes.
You were a Nikki.
I was a full Nikki the past 2 weeks. You're right.
There you go.
But,
that's what you were.
Yeah. So, but it's been so nice to be home. I told Brie my first night back in my bed, because I wear my Oura ring, I slept almost 10 hours straight with Tay. Teo always sleeps 10 hours straight. That's his thing. But I slept almost 10 hours straight with him. Like, I was like, whoa, I haven't seen my score this high. And so I was a 98 for all my Oura ring people, like that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. I've been sleeping so good.
Yeah.
But it's nice to relax. Well, everyone, we hope you have a relaxing week.
Yes.
And you can catch us on Thursday. We'll be back. So Mondays and Thursdays, catch the Nikki and Brie Show. Also, if you want to see videos of today's episode, you can go to any of our social platforms, Instagram at the Nikki and Brie Show, TikTok, Facebook, and you can also watch this full interview on our YouTube channel now.
That's right.
So please make sure to catch us. And you can also get this episode on SiriusXM Stars 109. And anything else I'm missing, Nikki?
No, you hit it all, girl.
Nail it?
You nailed it.
Good. My brain is still working. Yes. All right, everyone. Until Thursday.